Oh, you need more evidence that the Democrats, that you're winning on this? Not the hack media, the Brian Stelters of the world, the Chris Cuomos, the Ali Velshis, and the Don Lemons. Mostly peaceful, mostly peaceful. You don't think you're winning on this? You still think the American people are stupid, that they're not figuring out the Democrats are the party of street riots? Here's Joe Biden himself yesterday, who amazingly, 4 nights of the Democratic National Convention, nobody mentions the idea of law and order in the streets. We don't hear a peep about it. Not a peep. Crickets the whole time. They don't mention anything. All of a sudden, polls start coming in as Kenosha blows up again, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, now it's really not looking good. After Minnesota, Oakland, New York City, Miami, Fort Lauderdale and other places had riots all over the country. All of a sudden, the Democrats are now figuring out this isn't working really well. So shockingly, Joe Biden comes out yesterday, and in one of the fakest statements you're ever going to hear, he could have said something in front of a national audience at the DNC. Why do that? People might hear it. Now releases a statement saying, hey, riots are no good. Yeah, he's only a day late and $60 million or probably trillion dollars short in lost lifetime accrued revenue from all the damage we've done to this country from this. Here's Joe Biden finding religion all of a sudden.
As I said after George Floyd's murder, protesting brutality is a right and absolutely necessary. But burning down communities is not protest. It's needless violence. Violence that endangers lives. Violence that guts businesses and shutters businesses that serve the community. That's wrong.
Okay, I can see the liberals already. Oh, Joe Biden's so brave. No, he's not a brave. He's a hack. This guy doesn't have a sliver of dignity or integrity. He's a known plagiarist, a serial liar, a race baiter. I mean, this guy's lies are endless. This is not a good man. He's not a decent guy. Joe Biden is, as Don Trump Jr. brilliantly called him, the Loch Ness monster of the swamp. Creeps his head out every few years to run for president, the Loch Nessie. Makes some Nessie sound, run for president, then pops back and no one sees him again. Brilliant analogy by Don Jr. The Loch Ness monster of the swamp, Joe Biden, creeps out the Nessie head. You know the Nessie head? You see the Loch Ness monster once in a while in some kind of photo or something like that, and then you only to run for president. Peeks around. Right. Using his telescopic head, and all of a sudden goes back into Loch Ness and you never see him again. This guy's a swamp creature. He's not a decent guy. He's a genuinely bad guy who's enriched his family using political power at your expense and has now figured out he should speak out against your city burning down because his polls have collapsed entirely. So spare me the lectures about how, Biden's taking a stand now. No, Biden's taking a stand against bad polls. If the riots were popular again tomorrow with the Democrat base, he'd shut his mouth just like they did at the DNC. So please spare me your nonsense. Take it and where you can stick your mask mandate from yesterday's show. Now, unbelievably, CNN's found religion too. Not really. Just like Joe Biden, CNN, full-time liberal activists at CNN, where Chris Cuomo from CNN, just a month or two ago, it's like, who says riots have to be peaceful? The Constitution? Peaceable assembly? Must have missed that. But Cuomo, who was confused why you should assemble peacefully, which isn't really surprising for Cuomo. He's not, tricep extensions, Cuomo, remember that guy? Yeah, that's Chris. So he works for CNN, and CNN is now starting to figure out, too, that riots, get ready for it, may be really bad for your candidate. Stunner! Exclamation point. Here's Don Lemon last night figuring out for the first time that the Democrats should really say burning cities down is not a good idea. It took them about 6 months to figure this out, but they're finally getting it. Here's Don Lemon.
The rioting has to stop. Chris, as you know and I know, it's showing up in the polling. Mm-hmm. It's showing up in focus groups. It is the only thing right now that is sticking. And the Democrats tonight stuck with that, right? And they also stuck with the theme that you said, the coronavirus. You got coronavirus and you have Kenosha.
Cuomo, who again couldn't figure out why you should assemble peacefully, is sitting there like, what do I do now? Is anyone going to remember that sound clip from a few months ago? Oh, yeah, we remember, Chris, of course. You know what? Maybe we'll pull that one for later. Can you remind me of that, Paul? Hold on. I got to take a note here. Cuomo's sound on tape for all you video insiders. We'll pull that one for later. I didn't even think of it. Well, I'll play Cuomo's where he's confused about why you should assemble peacefully. He was busy doing tricep extensions on tape with his fake 80-pound dumbbell. So notice Don Lemon's logic there, which is really astounding that he was dumb enough to actually say it. It's okay, it's showing up in the polls. You know where it's really showing up? In the emergency room, with citizens getting their skulls cracked open for driving down the street and daring to drive on a public street when BLM terrorists are in the way, where they yank you out of your car and beat the snot out of you and terrorize your kids. It was showing up there too on 911 calls that we played on the show. It was showing up inside of stores after hours as Antifa kids broke down windows and looted stores. Joe, they looted for food in Saks Fifth Avenue, which has an extensive deli, as you remember. They were looting for food, Joe. They were feeding their kids Antifa in Saks Fifth Avenue. Again, which has an extensive boar's head collection of deli sandwiches. Saks Fifth Avenue. You know, you've been there, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Saks Fifth Avenue. They have
14
the deli
karat
section.
bologna, yeah.
Yeah, 14 karat.
There you go.
And turkey breast. 22 karat turkey breast, too.
My man.
On nice New York City Grimaldi bread and everything. It's in Saks. You've all seen it, right? Looting the Apple store for basic necessities, like the newest Wonder Boom speaker that's waterproof in the shower. The basic necessities, man.
Gotcha, bro.
That's where it showed up, too. Oh, I can't. Now my eyes will be red the rest of the show. You're not supposed to make yourself laugh. I get it. But I can't get over how these people in the media genuinely think we think they're for real. They've got a case of the for reals. Everyone sees through their BS but them. They wonder why their credibility is that of an unflushed toilet bowl. Again. Don Lemon, hey, man, we really need to worry about cities burning down. They're starting to show up in the polls. Spoken like a true liberal activist, like Don Lemon is.
You just heard Dan Bongino.